Cortex is the productivity stack. This is the stack you want to take for total mental energy, total mental dominance, total motivation, verbal fluency, focus, and the drive to get work done. Get the Cortex Nootropic stack at livecortex.com. Feel what it feels like to fire on all cylinders.
What's up, everybody? Ryan Michael Bella here, your Nootropics information captain, emperor, and deliverer. So look, check us out on the web at livecortex.com, livecortex.com/blog. Giant blog of Nootropics information. All of our 47 podcasts, 48's launching very soon on Nootropics. They're all on Nootropics. They're all very powerful. And then at Facebook at facebook.com/Cortex stacks. So look, it's funny because consulting folks on Nootropics, which is one of the things that we do, it's a 40-minute call with me, 15 additional email correspondences, $65. Get it at livecortex.com. There's so much data we get to extract from it and then talk about it. And there's so much information that I now have that I don't think I would have had otherwise within the nootropic sphere. I can get some degree of information just sort of answering people's random questions via email and then having them report back to what how my advice on nootropics affected them. But the consulting thing is a lot more structured. We get folks from Italy, who are trying to improve their capacity to function well cognitively and in terms of verbal fluency in social situations. And so, we've got them taking phenibut and like a lower dose cholinergic like Nootropic or something, and then they report back at how it affects them, and we just get information about that. And so one of the things that I have found is that, we know there's a class of folks that take nootropics that are just going to require, their brains work pretty good as it is, but they got into nootropics and they think they're kind of cool and they, it seems interesting, and they maybe took some Piracetam and they were like, this is awesome. I feel great and I'm functioning good. And so they're into it. But because their brains are in a pretty good place, they're not going to require a whole lot of nootropics. Okay, so that's just like point number one I want to make. There are some people who just require less nootropics, than everybody else, based on the condition of their brain. It does seem clear that the necessity for nootropics depends on how much damage you might have incurred in dopamine receptors, in cholinergic signaling, in serotonin functioning, in your history in life, and largely a lot of that has to do with excessive alcohol consumption or pharmaceutical drugs or other things, genetic things, whatever. And so what I found is that, I've got, folks that we might consult with that are like really into nootropics because they're reading about it and they're thinking they're cool, and they took some Piracetam and it made them feel really good. And then so they try one of those power user stacks. A power user stack might be 2 grams oxiracetam, a gram of Piracetam, 15 milligrams Nootropic, 300 milligrams alpha GPC, 30 milligrams vinpocetine, right? That's a lot of doses. High dose, different racetams stuck together and all this sort of stuff. And what I've come to learn is that those, combining a bunch of racetams is a way to do it. We lay them out in our digital guide. You break it down into having, maybe the Piracetam as the base at, a gram, and then the oxiracetam at 300 or 400 milligrams, and then the Nootropic at 7 or so milligrams, and the alpha GPC at like 175 milligrams or something, right? An even balanced stack. But even some folks will not do best on that stack. They'll literally do best on a Piracetam coffee stack, okay? I had to say all that to get to this. Piracetam and coffee, right? Piracetam, maybe a choline source in coffee, and something like 2 grams Piracetam, just a mere 2 grams of Piracetam, and 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine, cup or 2 of coffee. If they're going to take a choline source, maybe something like 300 or 500 milligrams of choline bitartrate, and alternatively 100 to 175 milligrams of either alpha GPC or CDP choline. So there's this thing about Piracetam, which, it works on optimizing acetylcholine by probably sensitizing and optimizing signal strength of cholinergic receptors. But it also works on blood flow in a real interesting way. So that all the areas of the brain that Piracetam is working on improving, the brain sends a lot of blood right to those areas. And so there's massive improvement in functionality. And I theorize that this works really well with coffee because coffee is a vasoconstrictor. So it constricts blood flow in the brain to some extent. I know people that like drink too much coffee and they literally get lightheaded, like when they talk. They can't drink that much coffee because the vasoconstriction is too much for them. So you got sort of a countering with Piracetam improving blood flow in the brain, and then the coffee working on decreasing blood flow to some extent, but working on the adenosine receptor, turning on wakefulness. So 2 grams Piracetam, a cup or two of coffee and a choline, a small choline source, again, 300 to 500 milligrams choline by tartrate, 175 or so milligrams of either CDP choline or alpha GPC, I found is actually the perfect stack for some people, where some of the multi-racetam higher level power user stacks were not good for them, right? They either gave them side effects, it was too much, they didn't feel right. Simple Piracetam coffee stack was golden for them. Okay, so I just want to let folks know that there is a percentage of folks, it tends to be folks who really already have greatly functioning brains, who are just not going to need a whole lot of nootropics and don't feel bad about a simple Piracetam coffee stack. I mean, sometimes I do that. I add theanine to it, but sometimes I do Piracetam, caffeine, theanine, and it's killer. I just wanted to share that with you folks and bring it in so folks can try it if they're thinking like, I'm taking all these large scale nootropic stacks and they're not really working all that well for me. Maybe you're one of those people that just needs low dose everything, and maybe a simple Piracetam, caffeine, choline source stack, or even adding some theanine at 100 to 300 milligrams with some of those examples is best for you. We just launched the Nootropic stack for the business professional. Get that sucker at livecortex.com. Digital guide, 100 stacks. Basically, I don't want to make it sound like it's this elite level underground business thing, but it is. Because, the people we consult are high level business folks in some of the major companies everyone knows of and other obscure companies, etc., with nootropics, and we're giving them very particular stacks that I know work on turning on certain sets of brain function for the kind of productivity business people need. And so we wrote a digital guide explaining those stacks. People asked me to do it. We did it. It's called Nootropic Stack for the Business Professional. Get that at livecortex.com. Downloadable for iPhone, iPad, Android tab, Mac, PDF, Mac or PC, because you could read it on a PDF, Windows Phone, Kindle, anything you want. That thing is awesome. $28, but if you use the coupon code 5, takes it down to 23. Get it at livecortex.com. I'll explain here in a minute in a video that and our other stuff. We've got a stack called Cortex, very powerful stack. Look, if you've not tried Cortex, you want to turn the lights on, get a bottle of Cortex. Get it at livecortex.com. We've got 3 other digital guides, a new PEP stack list, the Racetam God Guide, 80 or so Racetam stacks, and then Smarter, Better, Faster, which is a guide that teaches you how to use nootropics and gives you a bunch of stacks. So there'll be a video explaining all that at the end of this video, which will be here in about 4 seconds. Thanks for watching. What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for watching. Ryan Michael Ballo here. Okay, I'm going to break down real quick for you our top 5 elite level nootropic products. Number 1, starting from the left, because we got to start from the left. The Cortex nootropic stack. That's basically a stack that turns the lights on. It's an everything stack. Some stacks are working for verbal fluency, motivation, mental energy, speed of processing. Cortex is everything. Just to give you an idea, I was running a company 18 hours a day when I was taking that stack. And then I formulated it into a pre-made stack. Very powerful for speed of processing, mental energy, motivation, and the drive to get work done. Secondly, that guide, that's a digital guide next to Cortex. It's called Nootropic Stacks for the Business Professional. 100 powerful stacks oriented specifically toward productivity and the kind of brain states you need to be a beast in being productive. Moving right along, the Racetam God Guide. That is a list of about 80 stacks of all the major racetams, all the powerful racetams we normally talk about: aniracetam, phenylpiracetam, oxiracetam, coliracetam, fasiracetam, and more. It lays out complex high-level stacks with all of those racetams. Then moving on to the Noopept Pro Stack list. The Noopept Pro Stack list is a giant list of oral, sublingual, and nasal spray Noopept stacks. If you want high-level nootropic stacks, high-level Noopept stacks that are brain state specific, download that digital guide. And then lastly, there's Smarter, Better, Faster. Smarter, Better, Faster is the all-around general sort of everything nootropics digital guide. Teaches you everything. Teaches you racetams, teaches you choline sources, teaches you modafinil, gives you very many stacks, shows you how to cycle. Very powerful digital guide. All of these guides are digital, so they're downloadable on a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android tablet, Kindle, anything you can think of, and there's also PDF versions of all of them available. Get them all at livecortex.com. Download those guides. You'll have them instantly. They are very powerful. And hey, if you really want a pre-made stack that turns on the lights that people from all around the world in different disciplines use to crank up brain performance, get a bottle of the Cortex stack. Thanks so much for being with me. Livecortex.com to get these elite level nootropic products, and rock on.